Hey guys, so a few weeks ago my wife comes up to me and she's like, hey, I know what I want for Mother's Day. And I said, cool, go over there, tell your kids, you're not my mom. So then while I was picking my teeth up off the floor, she tells me she wants a patio sectional. So then I start looking around, I start getting prices and stuff like this. And I start throwing up in my mouth a little bit. And so I tell her, I said, hey, why don't I just make you one? So her response was an eye roll, because whenever she wants something, I always make it for her. I don't ever just buy it for her. I don't know if that makes me a good husband or a cheap husband. But with that being said, the thing is actually already built. She absolutely loves it. And it cost me half the price of buying one. Oh, and it's also 2 feet bigger than the ones you can buy. And it's not that cheap wicker that will fall apart in a couple of years. So there you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get nasty. So we're basically going to build this. Now, what is this? Well, this is a bunch of drawings and pictures and numbers and measurements and everything like that. I'm going to build basically this thing in 2 sets and put it together. First thing I need to do is I need to cut down all of my wood. Now, I'm going to have this thing to have a 15-degree angle on the back, so he kind of sits kind of comfortably. So I got to figure out all those angles, everything like that. You're probably watching me starting to cut that wood right now. But I'm building everything out of just pressure treated green wood. I didn't use like a cedar or anything like that. It's going to be outside, so I wanted something treated. So I'm getting that all dried out there, and I'm starting to get everything cut so we can start making some bases. So then I laid down some 2x4s to give me with the angle that I want, and I used the cushions to give me the size that I need, because I was afraid with that pillow compressing that my measurements would be off. Because of when I put this thing together, I want the outside edges to not look funky dunky. I'm going to have this would be an outside upright, then I'm going to have the spot your butt on go like this and butt up there. Now to get these two to joint together, there's plenty of things that I could do. I could do pocket holes, stuff like that. With pocket holes, has a chance for water to really collect. So I think the easiest thing I'm going to do is I'm actually take this little cutoff, I'm going to place him back here, and that way I can screw in through this and this, and then screw into here, and it should actually help stabilize it quite a bit. I'll just do those on the ends, and then you'll see what I'm going to do for the middles in a second. Alright, so because of the way this thing sits here, if I were to take this one right here, put it right here, it's going to be way off from this one, right? So what I did is I don't know what it's really called. I'm going to bird mouth notch all of these so that they sit just like that. And that will sit them flat in line with this. Then I will run that just like that. Like that. And then I'll also take take the cross support and I'll run it off of there to there. Alright, so I have the frame all laid out and all together, so now I just got to deck the thing. I'm going to build it in 2 separate pieces to make it a lot easier to haul around, but we'll throw some decking and what I'm going to call some railing on it right now. Alright, let me redact my statement about putting the decking and everything on right now. I'm actually going to wait, and the reason I'm going to wait is because I'm going to stain this thing So I want to, those boards that on the decking boards, whatever, they're obviously going to separate and expand as they get water in them and everything like that. So what I'll do is I'll paint all those before I put them on. So right now we're going to get this thing actually up in the air. I did put those back board, the slats on, those probably will come off, but let's build some legs and get this thing actually up off the ground. So because I need to cut a bunch of these legs off the same height, all I did is I set a stop block here with a clamp, a makeshift stop block. I'm going to rip a bunch of these. So what I need to do is I need to set up some temporary legs on the two ends, because those are obviously going to have real legs, like real legs with armrests and stuff. So some of these will be temporary supports, some of these are going to be forever supports. So I want to make sure that I have enough feet on this thing that's nice and stable, but that's what I'm going to do. Alright, now that I've got the permanent legs on, I can actually now take off these temporary legs. So, obviously I can't leave this armrest looking like this because it looks terrible. I don't like it. I actually wish I would have came up with that higher with this one, cover up that end grain, but I didn't because I'm stupid. So, I need to cover this up, so I built this. This is going to sit right on here, give it a little character. How did I do that? Let me show you. And now, before we put everything together and start staining and sanding and all that fun stuff, I want to round over all of this stuff here. This is all of the decking. This is all of those back slats. This is the armrests. This is the top rail. I want to round over all these with a router. So, let's hit the music. Now, I sand everything. I'm not going to bore you with the rest of this, because that was 3 minutes on one board and I have a lot, so I won't bore you with the rest of it. So I sanded last night for like an hour and a half. You're welcome for not boring you with that. But now we're at the point where I can start putting some of the stuff actually onto there for a permanent attachment. So putting these back slats on, what I'm going to do is first I have to have this here as to actually act as a good spacer. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some 1x4s as spacers. like so. And I'll carry that all the way up till I have equal spacing. Now, I'm not going to glue these on because I feel like if anything ever breaks, it's going to be like this or the decking. And I want to be able to pull it off without having it all glued. So the rest of it's glued to help obviously add with stability, but yeah. Alright, so now is the point where you think, because I have it basically all assembled, all sanded, that it's time to slap some color on here, throw some cushions on, and take a nap. Which is what I thought too, but my wife let me know that when you buy a sectional like this, that they come with a coffee table, so apparently I'm building a coffee table now too. So the coffee table is going to be very basic, very easy. It's going to be about 2 foot by 3 foot, 16 inches high. I'm actually have the top that you can take off, and that way we can put some of the cushions inside on windy days. So I'm going to let you watch me cut all that right now. Keep this lid from sliding all over the place, I'm going to put these little slats in against this edge, and then these two will hold this way and this way. Therefore the lid can't go everywhere, but we can take it on and off. One thing that I have learned from watching people on YouTube make things and make furniture is if you have any type of leg that's going to hit the ground that can slide around mostly on a chair or a table, what you want to do is using either a router bit or like I'm doing here with the sander, is put a chamfer on the bottom of that leg. What that's going to do is it's going to keep it from really grabbing and splintering on things or on uneven floors or anything like that. So whenever you're doing a glue up on a top like this and putting these boards together, make sure that you cut everything a little long. See, I didn't, so now I have to be very, very careful on cutting because I'm just trying to make just a little bit enough off so it all runs very evenly. So because this top does have a bunch of like really bad knots in it, because this is just regular pressure treated wood, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to fill all these nasty things with some 5-minute epoxy. I'll mix a little coloring in there so you don't really see it. Everything has been built, everything has been sanded, and I think I sanded for about 3 hours in this project, which is terrible. But now we're going to throw some color on it. So I'm going to throw some of this on there. This will help protect it from the weather and the elements, and it'll also give it hopefully a nice russet color. So this is also going to be a pretty terrible thing to do too. So we'll start slapping some color on her. it took me 2 hours, but I've got everything is painted. So now it is time to go and put it up on the deck. Finally. Alright guys, that was it. Sectional's all done. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. See you guys in the next one.